I'm sitting at Maui in a beautiful day, and I hope your day is beautiful also. We're going to some questions and answers, but before I do, I want to introduce an interesting point. I've been touring with the Sin Ming, it's a third patriarch of China, and they have it's, and the Great Way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Now, I'm teaching that we have to shift our identification from ego to soul. From ego to soul. That's not a preference. It sounds like a preference. It's merely an instruction. And the instruction is because you should honor your ego and you should honor your soul. I'm not in any way playing favorites. All I'm pointing out from where you look from at the universe. So and the fifth third patriarch he also says, obey the nature of things, your own nature, and you will walk freely and undisturbed. And he also says, if you wish to move in the one way, do not dislike even the world of senses and ideas. So that we move our vantage point from the worldly vantage point to a spiritual vantage point, to from ego to soul. And you realize that souls have long they're infinite. They're infinite. But they go from incarnation to incarnation to incarnation, and this is your present incarnation. And your soul has picked up on these incarnations you've picked up some karma. Positive and negative. And it is arranged for you to take this incarnation that you're in now to learn things which you can use getting rid of your karma. So, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Yeah? Okay. Now we should start with questions.
Okay, the first question is from Susan and Don. From Don. You used to talk a lot about Guru Kripa, but now you don't. What's up with that?
Guru Kripa.
Well, Guru Kripa is the grace of the Guru, and I am using that as my path, and I've been saying that there are other paths. There's karma yoga and things like that, jnana yoga. Guru Kripa is only one part of Bhakti Yoga, and it means you get to God through your Guru, and Maharaji is just an excellent doorway. And I want to invite any of you that are needing a guru, just think of Maharaji. And I'm not, well, I am. I'm pushing for Maharaji because I know that he is really the cat's meow. Well, that means that's really he's a Siddha Yoga, a very high yogi, and you won't make a default by becoming his devotee. All you have to do is, he said, anybody that thinks upon me, I will be with him. I think that's a pretty good statement. okay.
Okay, next question comes from a soul. And a soul asks, what are some things we can do to get to the place where we have no preferences? This seems difficult to do. I'll repeat that. And I think it was in response to the quote that you mentioned earlier, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. So the question is, what are some things we can do to get to the place where we have no preferences? This seems difficult to do.
Concentrate on the moment, this moment, and take whatever comes. Clouds, clouds. Sun, sun. A bad stomach, a bad stomach. And you can take them as grace. They're all stepping stones to get to God. One is positive and the other is negative. But they are all stepping stones. It's like I use my stroke to get me to God. Yeah.
Next question comes from Bill. I've always wanted to ask Ram Dass what he would ask his guru were he here now. What would you ask Maharaji if he were here now?
Well, he is. That's the problem. It's not a problem, but it's Maharaji. I would like that everybody that is listening to me will recognize their soul and will achieve that vantage point to their life, and they will. That's what I'd like. I'd like that at all. I really.
Question. What is the difference between your spirit and your soul? What is the difference between your spirit and your soul?
Spirit is a big word. Your soul is it's called the Jivatman. It's unique to you. It's the soul is probably astral, but the spirit with occurs in this plane, astral planes, causal planes. It's a spirit, is all of it. The trees are the spirit. The ocean is the spirit. Our bodies are the spirit. Spiritual. The soul is unique to you, and it will take all those incarnations, and your soul has gotten into this incarnation, and in this incarnation there's an ego and all the rest of our senses and science and stuff like that. And your ego, your soul, buried deep in it is not only your soul, but God, but Atman, but the universe is in you, it's in you. It's not just in me or just, it's in you. The Atman contains all of everything of the universe, and it is spirit. It is spirit. I'm sorry if that's too complicated, but it's kind of complicated anyway. Yeah.
This comes from Melissa, and she asks, I realized earlier today that I prefer to be identified by others as a soul rather than an ego. I find myself wanting to affect change in the others who still see me as an ego. How do I let go of that judgment of others?
Well, the others are really their souls, and they're just living out their incarnation. And just see them as souls. It's all in you anyway. They're doing as good as they can do. And they can see you in any way because that's their karma. That's their karma. And you're thin ice. We're trying to save somebody of their karma. It's thin ice. You appreciate them and love them, and then when they are ready to change, they'll change.
Ramdas, I practice Buddhism. God is not recognized, only Buddhas. So what is with this? I'll repeat that. I practice Buddhism. God is not recognized, only Buddhas. What is with this?
Well, I was a Buddhist once too, and it's a tricky thing. When if you think of the Atman, it's far-reaching. It's all things. It's all things, including God. And actually, it's empty and it's full. it's form and it's formless. And if you have to, in your way, you aim for the formless, that's okay. And or if you want it for God, it's okay, because all these, it's all one. It's all one. It's these, the way that you conceive of the goal is only your method, but you have to. Like I think of Maharaji, I think of him without form, which is very much as a Buddhist. And the Buddha was his Atman. He was form and formless.
Next question comes from Rick. He asks, what does it mean exactly to get to God? What does it mean exactly, quote, to get to God?
To get to God is the step before that is you get so that you see everything is God. It's all the one. And then from that step to the next step is to merge with all the one, and you lose your identity. And that's merging with God. Though that final step is, it takes grace. It takes grace. And it's wonderful. Yeah. And in that way, you will have the wisdom, the compassion, the peace, the joy that God would have. And you will, for example, if you were dealing with patients, you want to take the patient and you see the patient as you, not as if, but see the patient as you. And the doctor and the patient are one.
This is from Joseph. My question is about when the heart opens. Why is it so often or almost always accompanied with crying?
Crying doesn't necessarily be a negative act. All it is a bubbling over of energy. It's because the heart opens, and you go from one energy field to another energy field, and you get overwhelmed with energy, and that's why the heart, there is crying. Yeah.
The next question is, why keep on repeating the name and meditating when nothing really seems to change your karmic growth?
And all change, what is it?
Karmic growth.
Huh?
Karmic growth. Karmic growth.
And meditating when nothing really seems to change your karmic growth.
Our karmic what?
Growth.
Growth, okay. Well, you won't be sure it's not changing your karmic growth until you have the eyes of God, until you have gotten the last step. The Ram, 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 Ram is saying the names of God, and it's saying it's concentrating on that one which is everything. It's one consciousness. It's one consciousness. And if you're lucky, you will surrender to that one, and that one will direct your life, and that one you will be doing that one's work. That's what you get when you start to identify with spirit, or our soul. Well, I'll take that back.
Question is, what is one of your favorite parts of the Ramayana and why?
I get a kick out of the chapter that has Hanuman in it. It talks about him flying over to get Sita, and I just go nuts when I read that. Yeah. It's Sundarakand, it's called.
So I wanted to mention, some people are posing some questions and I don't quite understand the question, so if you don't hear your question asked, could you please repose it to me, and hopefully in full sentences. So there's a few out there I'd like to ask, but I'm not quite sure I understand them. But anyway, on to the next question. Can Ram Dass expand on Bhakti Yoga, changing our karma with fortunate synchronistic events?
Could Ram Dass expand on what's the last?
It's from Marty. It says, can Ram Dass expand on Bhakti Yoga, changing our karma to fortunate synchronistic events? And I understand that means improving your karma to be more fortunate through synchronistic events?
Bhakti yoga is yoga of the heart. And like, for example, Maharaji said to me, Ramdas, I want you to love everybody. And that changed, it got rid of preferences. Because I couldn't love him and not him. And it opened my heart wide. And heart wide open, you're going to the one, it's merging to the one, and merging through love. You're merging through love. And as you merge, you get God's wisdom and compassion and love, and that really affects your karma, because it gets you it loosens the bonds of the karma by loosening all of your unstuck. It's all unstuckness, and taking, and you know. I had to, you said, love everybody, that me too. And when I had to love myself, boy, that loosened an awful lot of karma. Because I was carrying that stuff from incarnations from this birth. I was carrying heavy duty karma. But when I had to love myself, there I was, and loving that karma, wiped out that karma, wiped out the karma.
This is from Chris, and he asked, are you sure that we reincarnate, and how do you live with the doubt? Are you sure that we reincarnate, and how does one live with the doubt?
Okay. I am sure we reincarnate. I'm sure because I have read the holy books. I have listened to Maharaji, and he's sure we reincarnate. And I had visions about my own reincarnation. Those are information gets me that I'm sure, and it's not, it's not, well, let's say sure isn't the word. I have faith in those. I have faith in that. And doubt is the opposite of faith. And doubt is a mind thing, mind thing. And it when you go down into your heart, you look at your thoughts, and oh, there's a doubt. And you can ride with that, or you let go of it into your faith. Down here is faith. Down here is faith. Yeah.
The next question. How does one reconcile working with mind and still keeping an open heart? How does one reconcile working with mind and still keeping an open heart?
Once you have an open heart, I love the universe. I love the universe, including my mind. And I want to see the mind and work with the mind. I work with the mind as a game that is an incarnation. A game that's in the incarnation, and that's working with the mind. And I will love it all. Yeah.
Next question. If we change our consciousness, what then is our social responsibility? If we change our consciousness, what then is our social responsibility?
If you change your consciousness to the soul, you will be more responsible, more socially responsible. The social responsibility is out there, and it's gamey. It's game. It's the incarnation. And when you have soul, your actions will be wise, loving, well, I was at a peace rally in Boulder, and all the speakers were going, peace, 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 and there wasn't any peace in the rally. And from down deep, I found my peace, and I brought forth. I radiated peace, and I gave a speech which is peaceful. It was peaceful, and I think that was socially responsible.
Thank you. This question is from Joseph. Where is the handbook for past life karma? How on earth do we know how to balance it?
Well, I think that you have to go with your intuition and let the intuition get close to the Atman. And when you look at the world, and you'll see there's something. You'll see your dharma. Your dharma. I have a dharma. It's a Ramdas dharma, and I have to do it. I have to do it. That's what Krishna says to Arjuna. You have your dharma. You're a fighting man, and you better fight. And your fighting will realize the end of your karma in the past. I don't have a knowledge of my karma from past events. Maharaji does have knowledge of my karma. That's why I hang around him.
This question, in your quote earlier in the webcast on moving in a great way, it says, don't even dislike the world of the senses. But when I identify too much with senses, I get lost in preferences. How do I manage that?
You don't have to get identified with your senses. You just have to recognize them. That's once you're down here with your I am my loving
Awareness.
I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. And then I will aware of that my eyes, and then I'll become aware of their object, and I'll just be aware. But I don't get identified with my eyes. You'll stay aware, stay loving awareness, loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. That's one of the ways that you can keep from identifying with your senses.
Hey, Carrie asks, my heart opens and closes in such a flickering way. I'm so happy when it's open, but I can't seem to hold that place. Any thoughts on that place where the face is so fleeting?
Um, even when the heart closes down, I usually say to myself, what in hell am I doing here? What am I doing here? And I get down on myself, but that's me. But because when it closes down, it's just no fun to be in the world. And sometimes I can start it with a primer. I look out at the trees. I love the trees. I love the ocean. I love the grass. Wow. I love you. I love me. Now, I'm loving, through the words, through the words comes the opening of the heart. Because the words aren't fully it, but they're just the words. Or the words, I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. The open heart, loving awareness, loving awareness. And that's like a mantra. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving